Hi, welcome to this edition of 4-Minute Fridays. My name's Gary, and today I want to talk to you about leading up when things are going down. You know, we've all seen those movies where there's this jet that's going down, and it's going down fast, and it's not going down to land, and the pilot has got a hold of the yoke and he is pulling with everything he has, and the G-forces, the same G-forces that are working against the plane and pulling it down, are working against even his arms of being able to hold the thing up, and he's fighting everything he can just so that the plane can do this and avert tragedy. You know, it's a great study on what leadership really is. I've watched with amazement this year as this pandemic has hit through, just from a leadership perspective, because business leaders, company leaders, leaders of countries have been thinking, how can I just get this thing to go like this? And I want to tell you that as a leader, that's perhaps the most important thing you will ever do. How do you go from this to this? Let me just share with you a few thoughts. Number one, remember that the buck starts here. I know that we were always taught to say the buck stops here, which is great for responsibility and pitching blame. But if you think about leadership as something that moves forward, we got to think about how the buck starts. It starts with us moving forward. The basis of leadership is going first. When you're in one of these and you're a real leader, you want to take that thing forward. You want to make sure the buck starts with you. You don't abdicate. You don't look for somebody else. You don't find an excuse for somebody else to do it. You step into that chair and you do it, because that's what leaders do. The second thing you do is you make sure to eliminate dead weight. Now, when things are going great, we can carry all kinds of cargo. You know, we can have all kinds of different things kind of tossed into the plane, and we can have new ideas. We're kind of experimenting with this and this new department, this new division, this new idea, maybe all these employees that we brought in. But you know, when things are really, really bad and things are going like this, you've got to only keep the things that are mission critical, and sometimes you have to just get rid of a lot of excess weight. And that's hard, because some of those great ideas were your ideas. And maybe more importantly, some of those people that you have to have let go, those are people that you care about. It's tough to do, but it's critical in a crisis. The third thing is we got to look for the opportunity inside of that crisis. There'll always be those opportunities there. It could be because there's less competition because all the other planes crashed, okay? It could be because costs are lower because business is down. It could be that there's people that are willing to be volunteers who before you would have had to pay them to do things. Whatever it is, look for the opportunities inside the crises and capitalize on that. And finally, whatever you do, don't give up. Don't let go of that yoke. Keep pulling back on it. You know, I just read the story called Shoe Dog, which is a story really of Nike Corporation. But more than that, it's a story of a man, a leader, Phil Knight, who here in Oregon, I live in Eugene, Oregon, we call him Uncle Phil because he's the guy that helps fund all the crazy things University of Oregon Sports Products does, and all of our projects and those fancy uniforms. You know, it's funny, you see him at the games and you wear his shoes, and so you think you know him. But when I read his book, what I realized is that until they hit the Air Jordans in the mid-'80s, they were always on the verge of collapse. They were always one step away from disaster. There was so much risk that they had to take, and there were so many opportunities that he could have said, you know what, I'm going to get a parachute and jump out like everybody else. But instead, he stayed in there, he hung on there, and the difference is a world-class company. Listen, I want to encourage you in your company, in your business, in your family, in your realm of responsibility, whatever it is, don't give up. Look for those opportunities. Eliminate the excessive weight. And most of all, be the leader. Let the buck start with you. And if you'll do that, you can make a difference and you'll change your part of the world. Hey, it's been great to be with you again. We'll see you on the next edition of 4-Minute Fridays.